Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
It's a house!
Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains?
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
What's going on, freaks? I'm using a green screen. It looks pretty good, right? Those bricks aren't really behind me right there. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Not too bad. Yep. Yeah, it was just, they just did the premiere of the episode of Court TV that I was on yesterday. They put it out today. You know, they edit out the commercials and everything. I showed up in there, and as soon as I showed up, I got like a notification. I was like, oh, look at that. So I went over there, and then I said hello to people, and then they were like, oh, great. And then as soon as I did that, I realized, oh, God. Here we go. I know the trolls are going to show up, because they have like this little pack of like just absolute whack jobs that they hear about. Hey, Gray's being talked about. Let's go over there. Come on. And they run over there, and it's just a whole pack of them. They don't even care what's being said or anything on the show. They just start going. But, you know, that's just what they do. They have no lives. Can you imagine living like that? Waking up every day going, how can we troll Gray? What can we do this time? It's so wild. You know, even Barbara McDonald said, you know, the stuff that I'm saying are actual factual pieces of information that are out there, right? And so that's the thing, you know. She's kind of, smiling and laughing because those are exactly, you know, that's the key points that I went through. It's hard to show when you don't have a map to point to, but I think I described it pretty good on there. But, you know, we took Blue in yesterday for a, get his urine checked again, and I don't know, man. I thought it was good news yesterday, but they weren't even, the results weren't in. They said that he likely has like kidney failure or something like that, and I don't know. They started talking about, well, you can try to, you can't fix his kidneys, but maybe you can give him medicine. I don't know. It's like there's a certain point where you just start too much stuff going on. You know, I don't want him to, but like even earlier today, I came in there and he looked like he was sleeping, and I had to call his name like 2 or 3 times for him to like open his eyes. I mean, he normally doesn't do that. He's kind of alert. But then after that, I opened the door, and they went running outside in the front yard, and he, went and pee, and then he came back in. And so I don't know. It's just, I feel bad. Poor old Blue. He's been around the entire time I've been doing this stuff. Now they told him to stop doing the antibiotics yesterday, and actually even quit giving him Lasix, I guess. And I don't know. I'm kind of, what I might want to do is just go get him tested one more time or something and see what happens. Does CBD fix kidney failure? I'd have a hard time believing that. But look how he just lays there. He really kind of just, he doesn't seem like he's feeling too good. But although he ate today, I actually had to let him eat part of a hamburger that I got because he was like, oh, no, no. You know, like I don't really care. As long as he wants to eat something, that's good. But hey, guys, we're doing the show, so if you could help support the channel, that's what we do on this channel. Every single day, we've given $215,000 out since January of 2020 from a portion of the income. So if you're new here, we have given out $215,000 in the last 4.5 years out of the income from the channel, which I think is pretty good. You know, it's not bad, right? Yeah, he just doesn't seem as energetic last few days. Just kind of lays around like that. Really, I'm not talking about Chloe. You know, Blue's the Chihuahua in the background there. Yeah, we have. Well, the cool part is we have a DNA fund that we've put over 90,000 in it, and I've identified Jane and John Doe's, and then we also have a scholarship fund. We gave 6,000 out last year, two $3,000 scholarships to students in the like forensic sciences or criminal justice, so that's good. Oh yeah, geez, threw up in your hair, huh? And that's our new dog right over here, Gracie, Chloe, Blue. This is Blue and Chloe here. Had a few different people paint Blue. This one's really pretty amazing right there, don't you think? Looks just like him. Yeah, I saw Gracie and Chloe were wrestling a stuffed animal today. That was pretty cool. Yeah, Blue's awesome. You know, remember that picture that I posted in my community section early, like about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, where he's just sitting there like Yoda, and it's just so crazy looking. Let me see if I can find that really fast. And we'll get to the stuff in a minute. I'm just letting people show up. Community. Where is that crazy picture? Yeah, right here. Look at that. See that? Look how he was just sitting there. That was like in the, I don't know, when was that? 2 months ago. I thought that was pretty amazing. No, they can't hear from where I am. Yeah. So what I was explaining on the show when I was on Court TV was this portion right here where, you know, I'll just do it again. Richard Allen, a vehicle matching Richard Allen's vehicle drives by this building right here, the Hoosier Harvest Store, at 127. At 126, there's 3 girls right here. There's actually 4. One of them's really young. She's not a witness or anything. So there's 3 girls right here. And then Richard Allen's vehicle a vehicle resembling his vehicle drives by and it parks here. However, he told Dan Doolin that he got there around 1:30 and left at 3:30, and that he saw 3 girls when he walked in. One had dark hair, etc. Okay, he said that. So he gets here at 1:30, and then he walks by, and those 3 girls also say they remember passing him. So not only does he say he saw them, they saw him. All right, so it verifies, and they were leaving when they saw him. So that verifies the time frame that he originally told Dan Doolin. These girls right here that were at the bench at 126 were all the way over here at 1243, so much earlier. And in Richard Allen's revised story, he said he got there at 12 and left at 1:30, which doesn't make any sense at all, because the girls wouldn't have passed him. They would have been walking together. So anyways, at 12:43, they're right here. But you know what? It takes the way they were walking, they probably got to this area at 12:20. So if Richard Allen got there at 12 and he left at 1:30, how come they didn't see him on the entire walk all the way down here to the bridge, and then all the way back over here to this bench at 126? They only see him when they're right around in this area exiting that direction. You see what I'm saying? So even his other story is bogus. And then if you were to believe his other story, that means he passed 3 other girls that never came forward. Now, all these years, they just didn't say that they were there. Doesn't make any sense at all. All right? That's the truth. So, hold on a second. Yeah, it's not even just a depiction, it's the reality of it. It's the factual elements. So anyways, he says he gets there at 1:30 and leaves at 3:30. It absolutely makes sense, and here's why too. So he gets right here at 1:30. 1:29-ish or so. Then he probably right here at 1:35. Takes 11 minutes, but let's say he did it in 10 to walk all the way to here, because he says he did that. He said when he got there, he parked by an old building, and then he walked all the way to the bridge to look at fish. So he would have been right here at about 1:45, okay? However, 2 minutes after that, Betsy Blair pulls in right here into this area, parks her car, walks out, and she's like on the trail at 1:48. So Richard Allen, if he was here at 1:45, he would have had to sprint as fast as he could all the way this direction, because it takes 6 or 7 minutes to walk from here to there. But to get back past her before she got there, he'd have to run as fast as he can to get like over here so that Betsy Blair wouldn't have seen him. But that's not what happened. She got out of the car and she walked this direction, and she got to the bridge and saw a man standing on platform 1, the exact platform that Richard Allen said he was standing on. Isn't that amazing? So Richard Allen said he was standing on platform 1, and Betsy Blair made it to right here, which is about 50 feet away from platform 1. So she didn't really get a great look at him. Her description of him is that he was younger, but Richard Allen does look sort of younger. If you see him in a certain way, you can see the look there. However, when Betsy Blair was shown a picture of the bridge guy taken off of Libby's phone, she said, that is the person that I saw. That's in the documents. All of them said that. Betsy Blair said that, Sarah Carbaugh, etc. So when Betsy Blair makes it right here, everybody, just watch this. She walks down like this. She stands here. Richard Allen's on platform 1. She just turns around. She doesn't hang out or anything. And then she starts walking back this direction. Betsy Blair, remember I just said a minute ago, got here about 1:47. Abby and Libby were dropped off there about 2 minutes later. But they're not in a hurry. They're not exercising. They're just there to walk around and take pictures. So Betsy Blair was quite a ways in front of them. And she goes to the bridge, turns around, and then about halfway back between the bridge and this area right here, she passed Abby and Libby. She remembers walking right by them. And they're walking this direction. And the next person that Abby and Libby are going to see is Richard Allen, because Richard Allen said he's the guy standing on platform 1 after arriving there at 1:30. Okay, so that means they're gonna be walking this direction, and then Richard Allen's standing here. It's just them now. Those three. Betsy Blair at this time is walking this direction, and eventually I think she goes to the Freedom Bridge, turns around, comes back, and then at 2:14 she goes right here, gets in her car, and drives away, and she shows up on this Hoosier Harvest store at 2:14. That's Betsy Blair. So she left. She didn't see Richard Allen ever again after that because he didn't go that way. The reason she didn't see him is because he went this direction with Abby and Libby. So this is how I think it went down here. Abby and Libby were walking like this. And Richard Allen is standing here, but he sees them coming, so he starts walking this way to give them the option to feel safe going onto the bridge. So he starts walking this direction, and then somewhere around in here he stops. Now he can look this way to see if anybody's coming, and he can look this way to see if anybody's coming. And then when he sees them go on the bridge, he starts making his way ever so closer to the bridge. As they start crossing, we have the one picture that Abby took on the bridge, or Libby took of the full length of the bridge, and that's right around in this area right there. And then Libby stands on this platform and takes a picture of Abby at 2:07. And I think at this point, he's probably like right over in there. And then when the girls continue moving across the bridge, he makes his way on there in a hurry. And it takes about, if somebody's confident, they can get across that bridge in 3 or 4 minutes walking fast. It took them, we don't know how long it took for Libby to get to the end of the bridge, but it was 2:07 when this photograph was taken. And I guess I could show those if you want. These are... But hey, you guys, we're currently at 0 on this show tonight. So is there any way you guys could help support the channel so we can keep on trucking? Here is the... that's a bad version of it. So this is the photograph that Libby took of Abby off of platform 3. She's walking towards the camera. We actually went out there and figured out the exact railroad tie. Somebody else was out there filming, but we figured out the exact railroad tie that she was on. And so we got that. And then the first shot, however, I think that one was taken at 2:04. The timestamp of the shot of Abby apparently doesn't have a reliable timestamp. They weren't able to retrieve it. So I guess it's possible that was at a different time. And here's the first photograph. And as you can see, there isn't a soul in front, right? So that means when she got to the bridge, there's nobody over there. That's platform 3. And Libby is taking this photograph. Abby's behind her. Then we have that second photograph that we just saw a moment ago, this one. And that is the second one. So that first photograph was taken back over in this area, facing the other direction behind us. And then she gets on the platform 3 and films Abby walking, and now you can't see anybody back there. There's little dark spots here. Everybody's analyzed all this stuff. Those aren't people there. Hey, thanks, Alley Cake. There are not people back there. All right, so he's back further at this point because moments later he's following them, and that's when he catches up to him on the end of the bridge. Libby's standing here. The video starts recording at 12:13:51, which would place him quite a ways back here. I did a video on that a while ago and timed it backwards. So it's way out here when the video started filming, but he wasn't on camera until he got, I mean, the video that we see, the quick little 2-second video, is right near the end of the 43 seconds. So it ends at 2:14 and 34 seconds, and it started at 2:13 and 51 seconds. So likely the image of Bridge Guy was like 2:14 and 25 seconds or so. Hey, thanks, Jeannie Gaiagoet. right? And so Libby is standing off the end of the bridge, and she's holding her camera, and Abby's still on the bridge when the bridge guy comes by. And let's see, I'll just play this is the video. Hopefully it'll get over to the right spot. Not sure where, yeah, there it is. So that's him these people back here is just a still that I use there, nothing to do with anything. So he's walking towards the camera, and that's Libby filming him. And that little dark spot that you see pop in, see that little, that's actually part of Abby, likely. But even if it's not, Abby is in the video. They've admitted that since then. What do you mean to the end of the bridge? Oh, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So anyways, he's walking across, and he catches up to him on the far side, and that's when he says, "Guys, down the hill." Let me play it.
Guys. Down the hill. Guys. Down the hill. Guys.
Yeah, that guy sounds just like Daryl Dixon. But he says, "Guys, down the hill. Guys, down the hill." So that's at 2:14:34 is when that video dies. And when he says down the hill, likely it's still being recorded a little bit for part of that point, because it's like another 10 seconds or so. And then they're made to go down the hill. They cross over, they go down a first hill to the private drive here. Then after that, they go down another bank to the area down here. And then somehow their bodies are found over here. So whether or not they were forced to cross the creek, or one of them made a run for it. My original theories a long time ago was that he meant to bring him over here, way down in this little hidden area, down, maybe like right back here, and one of them made a run for it and he chased him. Because it seems odd to want to like cross a creek, but this guy must have known the area. Would he really want to go back out to 300? I don't know. I think whatever happened to him, he realized he couldn't go back the same way he came, because apparently he was muddy and bloody, according to Sarah Carbaugh. Although, I'm sure they'll make I guess originally she didn't say it quite like that. We don't really know all the details because they don't give it to us. And so after that, he walks up here, and then some lady, Sarah Carbaugh, sees him at 3:57 walking this direction. I do wonder if they actually have the same vehicle driving this way from the on the Hoosier Harvest store. Hey, thanks, Judy Grandstrand. Bought some. Oh, it looks like Cindy is hiding in the background. She wasn't a member anymore. And then Laura W., La Sleuth, Annie Steer, and Dreamboat Annie. Guess I'll have to remove her as a mod on the other channel. Let's see. Yeah. I didn't either. Morgan, long time married to, not recognized him. Huh? Yeah, well, she didn't recognize him because he's just kind of... It's a shitty video, right? And maybe he didn't wear his clothing like that. The hoodie over a hat, like just in general. And, maybe she did think it looked sort of like him. I think there might be some information that perhaps the daughter, and remember I mentioned that maybe the daughter or the boyfriend, who knows, or in the fiance, but now they're married. Maybe they had some information and came forward, because you notice they're sort of absent, right? We don't really hear anything from them at all. All right, then at the crime scene, they found a ejected, I think it's like from a Sig Sauer, I think it was a P226, a bullet that they found, and the ejection marks are on it. Then they were able to do some testing by ejecting bullets from after they, found Richard Allen. They took his gun and ejected bullets, and it matched. Now, is it junk science or something? I don't know. It seems like you have to get other P226 eject and see how different it looks on those. But and then people go, it's planted, ooh, 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 it's planted, ooh, 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 it's planted. Really? So let's see. They planted a bullet that was fired from Richard Allen's gun 5 years before, and they just let him sit around. Why wouldn't they have arrested him way back then? Especially with the Dan Doolin interview. I mean, hell, they could have just made that case right away. What's the reasoning that they didn't do that? So they have that. And here's the deal, you guys. He's confessed something like 6 times or more. He's confessed. He found religion early on when he was in there, and he felt like he needed to confess. He was doing well. He was reading books. He was exercising. Everything was fine. And then he decided to, he felt like he just wanted to confess to his wife and his mother. And then the wife heard it and went, oh my God. I hung up the phone really fast on Richard Allen. And then she called his attorneys. And the next day, guess what? Richard Allen was as crazy as, he was the craziest person in the world. Eating his own crap, drooling on his shirt and everything. Because they had to sell it that he was nuts. Right. That's what they did. And 100%, they wanted to make him look crazy. However, and then he got better of not confessing, and then he started confessing again, and then he started adding information that only the killer would know. Right? He was saying stuff that only the killer would know. We don't know what those pieces of information are, but it's information. This case literally was one of the best kept crime scene information cases in a long time. I mean, there was some information that people put out early on. We knew about it, like this F and things like that, but there really, a lot of the detail absolutely never made it out there. So I wonder what kinds of things that he said. And then Richard Allen, he just lives right over here. Right there. I mean, so, although it's crazy, to get there, driving is a long drive. It's shorter going this way, but, it's probably like 3.5 miles, but as a crow fly, it's 1.3. I think since he came in this direction, passing the Hoosier Harvest Store right here, I think that's why he drove this direction, and then he came up this way like this. So he came on 200 north, drove up on 450 here, and then turned left onto 300, and then made his way over the Wilson Bridge and around, and then passes the cemetery, and then passes the Mears property. Then he passes the Hoosier Harvest Store at 127, parks his car right there. And then if he left the same way, which seems more likely, then he would have been on that camera again. Thanks, Richard Watts. Hey, what do you guys think of the... oh, yeah, let me show you my... Remember we used to have this one? My face is kind of orange because I have to switch the video to make the green screen look good enough. But remember we used to have this little bar, and then Lori Daybell back there, and then she would trip on something. She was like on a phone, and then there's a bartender back there, and he's doing stuff. I don't know if you remember that, but I thought it was pretty cool. I got that all working again. Yeah, see, there she is, Lori Daybell, just, yeah, woo, look at me. And then I think she trips on something in a minute. think I need to. Is that the one in the background? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, there she goes. Oh, she came in and tripped. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so then there's a whole bunch of witnesses that saw a car parked here. You know, one described it as a PT Cruiser, one described, smart car, one described it as a. But if you look at the general shape, here, let me just show you. And I'm showing you what I'm talking about. PT Cruiser, right? So that's what a PT Cruiser looks like. See that? See how the back of it slopes down like that? And then a smart car. See how that has a similar look, just smaller, sloped in the back. And then what does he drive again? The, hell, now I can't remember. 2016 Ford Focus, is that right? No, I don't think it was a Ford. What? Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is. And so look at, see how that has that same. It doesn't have a. Yeah, I wish I could see it. So it's just somebody driving by, you might see that Ford Focus profile. Yeah, so like that. You see how it goes down in the back, and then you got the PT Cruiser profile. See, it has a slope in the back. Then the smart car. See, to me, I actually see why law enforcement says they're consistent. Like somebody's just driving by and as a like that's what your brain saw, but it's not like it was a sedan, right? That has a similar slope in the back, etc. Right? But they were all, everybody saw the vehicle parked right here. Betsy Blair saw it backed in that area. Hey, thanks, Karen. Carolina Hurtado, hope you're doing okay over there, Carolina. And anybody from North Carolina or Georgia, man, that's just brutal over there. Captain of my soul, Bullseye, Paula. Good evening, PJs. They were trying to frame Richard Allen when they could easily have done it. I know. Yeah, and they framed him for a long game, right? Let me guess, Slow Joe's probably telling people they wanted to have 5 years of fundraising. It was all about the money. Yeah, it's corrupt, everybody. So they didn't want to make the arrest really quick. They just wanted to wait to the right time. Right in the middle of them investigating Keegan Kline, all of a sudden they find this other guy. Yeah, I don't think so. So when can legitimate make? I don't know what that means, man. So what can legitimate make Alan the guy? What? So what can legitimately make? I've just went over the whole damn thing, Rise. Did ever all of you just miss the whole presentation right there? Okay, yeah, there's a million things. First of all, he places himself there. Okay, you're just coming in. All right, that's what I'm saying, but I just went over the whole thing, you know what I mean? So, okay. I'll do it again, all right? I'll do it again, but I'll try to do it quicker for the people that have already seen it. All right? Richard Allen told Dan Doolin, like right after the murders, the conservation officer, that he got there at 1:30 and he left at 3:30, and that he saw 3 girls when he got there, and then he went on to go to the bridge and look at a stocks. He didn't say where he was. Okay? So he said that. And then on this Hoosier Harvest store right here, there's a vehicle that matches his vehicle driving by at 127, which means that's almost exactly right, that he would have parked here at 129 or so, and then got out of his car 130, maybe over here at 135. And this is when he would have passed the 3 girls that he saw when he came in. Verifying that is that those same 3 girls were on this bench right here at 126 and took pictures. Then they started walking this way, and I would say about 135 or so, they would pass him right here. They saw him, and he saw them. And as a matter of fact, those same 3 girls went walking this direction, and that Betsy Blair that I mentioned earlier, she goes underneath this bridge and sees them when she drives all the way around and parks here at 147. Or at least drives by here at 146 and then probably parked at 147. All right, but anyways, Richard Allen then, after he passes the 3 girls, okay, he walks this direction, because that's what he said he did. He said he got there, passed the 3 girls, and he went to the bridge. So he goes all the way to the bridge, and he would have been at the bridge at 146 or so, 145. Right here, 145. 2 minutes after he got to the bridge, Betsy Blair is parking her car right here. And she gets out and walks here. Richard Allen would not have had time to sprint back and pass and be over here before she got there. It just wouldn't happen. Especially since he says he's going to go look at fish. What did he do? Walk there and go, oh, I'm on. I'm going to go look at fish. Oh, and he turns around and runs. He obviously looked at fish. Nah, he wasn't really that fat back then. See, his little shtick that he's got going now, look how meek and skinny and shriveled up he is. He didn't look like that at all in 2017. I'll show you guys that in a minute. So anyways, he was right here at 145. 147, Betsy Blair gets right here. She gets out of her car and she starts walking this direction. And then 2 minutes later, Abby and Libby are dropped off. They're just walking. They're not exercising. They're just there to take pictures and have fun. So Betsy Blair's moving much quicker than they are. She gets to the bridge at probably 153. Right, that's what I have right here. So she gets there at 153, sees a man matching what Richard Allen said he was wearing, standing on platform 1. That's what law enforcement had known that for years, that she saw him standing on platform 1. Then she turns around and goes this direction, and like I said before, Abby and Libby were dropped off 2 minutes later, and they walked this direction and passed Betsy Blair right here. And when they pass Betsy Blair, the next person they're going to see is Richard Allen, or Bridge Guy, because he is the bridge guy, right? So they pass, they get to the bridge area where he is, and I think he went over here, waited for them to get onto the bridge. They felt comfortable. They took pictures, picture right in this area, a picture from here of Abby, and then at some point he came out of the woods after watching them and hustled across and caught up to him on this side at about 2:14 and probably like 25 seconds, and then had him go down the hill, and then he killed him over there, and a bullet shell was left at the scene that appears to be ejected from Richard Allen's Sig Sauer P226. Then he goes up here, is spotted by perhaps Sarah Carbaugh. I actually don't even really care about the Sarah Carbaugh sighting. It's like we absolutely know for certain that he went down here, but wouldn't that be amazing if, because he's on video, wouldn't that be amazing though if there's video on this building that's filming his car drive by this way at like 4. Oh man, or like 4:05. It would absolutely match right up with Sarah Carbaugh's time as he continued to walk. He gets to his car and then he goes back past it again. We just don't know about that. They might have kept that hidden, and the defense doesn't want that out there because it looks really bad. So maybe that does exist. All right, I'm going to do my spiel again. Okay, so on this channel, everybody, it relies on your guys' generosity, like you've been tonight. We've got 12 memberships given out, etc., and you guys are what keep everything going. We've only got $8.98 in super chats, however, but it'd be nice to, get the support going so that we can continue to keep doing the show and all the stuff that we do. Let's see. Also, when the girls are missing, why didn't he say... Well, he said the next couple days. Maybe he didn't know. I don't think that's a real strong piece of information. Truth sleuth. I mean, he could have just been somebody that's like, oh, I heard about it in the news, so he might have called the next day even. Like, he didn't know that they were missing that night, maybe, Who knows? But why didn't he, you would think he would have checked in again at a different time, like, hey, you guys, any luck on that? I haven't seen any. I don't know. Because Richard Allen spoke to the conservation officer. Hey, thanks, Michelle H. The conservation officer, and the conservation officer told him that, just, hey, we need to find out who those 3 girls are. Instead of like, wow, so you were there during that time? I believe Richard Allen wanted to get ahead of the story. He came forward and got a hold of law enforcement because he saw those 3 girls. Richard Allen had a public job. He was nervous that one of them may have said his name. So he went there to sort of say, hey, yeah, I was out there, and it could even be that he'd already seen the image in the news of himself. And he was like, just wanted to get ahead of it. And I think a clever person would have said, yes, Richard Allen, we know that you were there. We see you right here on this trail camera. See this video, this image right here? And he'd say, oh, yeah, that's me, yep. Okay, put your hands behind your back. I mean, the case would have been over in 5 seconds. But instead, Dan Doolin didn't seem to know what the hell he was looking at. I mean, it was amazing. Very frustrating. And also, it's a little weird that, to me, it's bothersome that Dan Doolin, over the years, didn't, go, God, that was weird. That one guy, he told me he was there. Thank you very much, Amy Lemoyne. Exactly. He was trying to see what they got on him, that kind of thing. I almost threw that in there a second ago, but didn't. I've heard that it was around 90 minutes. All right, so are you guys, do you see what I'm saying here? I don't see how Richard Allen gets out of that. He changed it, however. So listen to this. When he was arrested, he said he, in fact, was standing on platform 2, exactly where Betsy Blair saw him. But he didn't admit that. He didn't say that to Dan Doolin originally. He merely said he was out there between... He didn't even say what he was wearing to Dan Doolin. It was in his interviews later that he said he was wearing blue jeans, blue or black Carhartt jacket with... Well, I'll tell you what he said while we look at this. I was wearing blue jeans, a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hoodie and some sort of head covering. Okay. Yeah, well, I know other people wear those kinds of things, but there was only one person there that was wearing that right then. It was him. He said he was there. There wasn't 2 guys that had jeans and a jacket. How do you know, Gray? Maybe they played musical chairs, you bastard. Well, I didn't hear any music. All right, maybe they would put that in that video. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the bullet was found way over here at the crime scene. So here's what happened. I know, the details of right here are... I've had this, and it's pretty cool, the fact that, I've known this information, and then it came out in the documents kind of recently, that, Libby was standing here, and then Abby says something like, he's right behind us, huh? Right? And she goes, uh-huh. And then they talk about which way to go, and then the bridge guy, we originally heard years ago was that the bridge guy said, hey, and then Libby said, hey, back, or something. But it's actually guys, he says guys, and then Libby says, hey, and then not long after that, There's like a click sound that law enforcement can identify as a bullet being chambered. And he says, down the hill. Okay? So that's all in there. That's all been put out since then. And then they were made to go down the hill, and, you know, that's just, I mean, it's a freaking nightmare what happened over here. I mean, they were killed with a sharp forced instrument like a knife. Libby was found completely naked. Abby, weirdly, had Libby's jeans on and Libby's sweatshirt on, but she had her maroon shirt on that you see in that one picture of her. That was on underneath, and I don't know where her jeans or her sort of tan jacket are. I think one of the socks might have been missing. The shoes, both shoes were found. One was in the water, one was underneath. I think Abby's body with the phone, or maybe it was, I can't remember exactly now the order of that, but you think the crime scene was staged to cover up and throw detectives off? It was. They said it was staged, but I don't know. I think he might have been moving them around he was starting to place sticks on them to create some sort of a covering, I think, to put branches and leaves on them. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, they were going to arrest him no matter what. They already had him. He just went there to get his car, and he tried to get one little more piece of... Holman tried to get more information out of him on that day. Tried to get him to confess, but I don't think he did then. I know, there's something in there we just haven't seen yet. We've already gone over that, Truth Sleuth. You probably heard that all here. Let's see. And DD, how did he not remember? I talked to one of the managers. I don't know what that even means. Pretty slow one in here tonight, Plato, isn't it? But thanks for giving it a whirl. All right, so let's go take a look at the, just Richard Allen physically. These are some of these are actually, this is one of the photographs of items that were found. Like that's her Nike shoe in the water, and the other shoe was underneath one of them. And I think, it's interesting right there. You think maybe that's that tan jacket? See that little something right there? That little piece up there? Oh, guess what I found, you guys? Look at this. The original, a meme of the ludicrousness. So when the case first started, you guys, people would say everything that you see here are what people argued for days about. That, the sun's coming from the other direction, blah, blah, blah. There was a oxygen tank he's carrying. They edited out the oxygen tank. He's got a paddle in his pants. There's a puppy sticking its head out over here. There's a GoPro on his shoulder. Then there was a car down below the bridge. So somebody made that. I guess somebody named Nick Galagos. All right, that's pretty funny. Hey, thank you, Primal Curiosities. All right, so let's take a look at what Richard Allen looked like back then. All right, so when you say, he's a big fat, this is what he looked like. He's not like a weak, meek person. He's got big calves here. Looks like he's pretty strong, right? And even in these pictures, he looks totally different. He looks like a normal guy. I bet you. I mean, I bet you if you saw this guy, that face, you wouldn't think, oh, he's ugly. You know, like back without knowing who he was, right? And then you see him later, and he doesn't look like that anymore. I mean, like these are the ones from 2017. But what happened is the weight of killing Abby and Libby became like in Lord of the Rings, the ring and the weight on Schmeagol, on Gollum, right? He just sort of over time he just wafted away into nothing, just always feeling like he's living on borrowed time. Yeah, and this is kind of what he looked like at the end. That's what he looks like now, more like this. Like this little skinny, hey, and it's all intentional, by the way, you guys, because they want to try to prove to the, hey, thanks, Primal Curiosity. They want to prove to the jury that he couldn't have done this all by himself. Here's the thing, everybody. Richard Allen is, in my opinion, 100% bridge guy. Now, whether or not you think he's the killer or not, that's up to you. But Bridge Guy kidnapped Abby and Libby and therefore is part of the homicide regardless if you think there was somebody else waiting at the crime scene for him. Right? So I think the evidence that we've put together and when we show you guys, it's just absolutely shows that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy. So I think it's so weird when people out there say stuff like, like I was just on this live stream and this lady said, I'm convinced it's not Richard Allen. And I said, that's ludicrous. And she got so bent out of shape, said that I called her ludicrous and went crying like a little baby. And I didn't say that. I said it's ludicrous to believe that, to say that you're convinced it's not. Where? What evidence convinces anybody that that's not him there? Can you tell me? Does anybody have anything that you can tell me? Just one little nugget of something, just the smallest little piece of information. That would be great. I know I didn't call her ludicrous at all. I said that's ludicrous. And she just kept commenting, I'm so shocked and surprised. I think what she is a troll. Okay. Hey, wow, thanks. A blank slate. Gifted 5, Grant Hughes Investigates Memberships. To Emily Suzanne, Sleuth for Truth, Brenda Starr, Tina N, and Bubblegum. What was that line by, what was his name? That actor? It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of gum. Except he says bubble gum. It's like, I agree, Gray. That's 100% Rick Allen on the bridge. All right, so let's do some other things now, all right? So I've done this before, but let's do it live here. What was his name, though? Oh, yeah, Rowdy Piper. That's his name. It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum. So guess what? All right, ready? So we're going to open up Photoshop here. Oh, see that? He's going to edit some images, Gray. Gray's going to edit some images. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And when I do those voices, I'm imitating, because this is what I get. I get the trolls. They just love it, man. It's amazing. Gray, if you weren't such an ass, they wouldn't be trolls. Ooh. Well, they're trolls regardless, okay. Yeah, I thought Barbara thought it was good too. It's even better when I have a map out. Let me see if I can throw that out really quick for you guys, because I actually made an animation that you can watch on in my using 3D Studio Max. That's probably my most expensive expense. It's $1,500 each year for the license for the software, but yeah, you know, it usually comes in. It's usually worth it. You know, there's always something during the year that I'm able to make or something. That, let me open it up though. Are still lunatics that think he still shot? Huh? I don't know what that means. The still shot a bridge guy is Photoshop. Yeah. That never changes. Oh wow, I opened it up 3 times. Don't want that. All right, hold on. It's just loading up here. I'm going to show you. I have this whole the map of the area with these little spheres that move around. I think some of you guys have seen it before. You'll see it here in a second. And the reason I sound the way I sound is because I'm really confident about what I'm talking about. Not because you just believe something. No, it's because I've looked into it for so long. And, you know, there was a while where I thought like Keegan Kline was involved. My original theory was this, that there was an individual hunting Abby and Libby at the bridge that day, and Abby and Libby were just unlucky to fall into his trap. That was my original theory, and it almost seems like it's kind of come full circle, although it's still hard to imagine that Richard Allen didn't somehow know that the girls were going to be there that day. Okay, I think this is it right here. Oh yeah, boom. Still in the recent. And then after that, we'll go over and we'll take a look at some of the images of him and compare stuff. And, you know, it's just I'm doing it. It's not something law enforcement would do or anything. They would have some specialized, like an individual doing it. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Look at that. So right here, these are the 3 girls that were there at 12:47. Look, and here they go. They're walking. Now watch here in a second. They're right there. And then look, that's Richard Allen's vehicle. So right when they're there at 1:26, Richard Allen's vehicle drives over and it parks right there behind, I have the car bigger than it really is, but next to the CPS building. Watch. Now watch, Richard Allen gets out. Now watch these 3 girls. They're starting to head out themselves. And then they pass Richard Allen right there. There's actually 4 girls, but one's really little. And then Richard Allen continues to walk. And the girls are just chilling out, so they're not really in a hurry. And here he is. He walks down and he makes his way to the bridge. Now look, just as he was doing that, I'll show you. Right over here, Betsy Blair goes underneath that bridge and sees those 3 girls. And then she drives around like this. And watch, she parks her car. And Richard Allen's right there. Now watch, Betsy Blair gets out. Now look at Abby and Libby are dropped off just after Betsy Blair, but they're slow. They're just walking around taking pictures, maybe even waiting for somebody. Who knows? Then Betsy Blair makes it to there and then turns around immediately and then passes them right there. And Betsy Blair continues to go on her exercise walk while the girls approach Richard Allen. Now look at what I have Richard Allen do. He goes back a ways and he just sort of watches. And then the girls are right here. And they're continuing across the bridge. And then he follows them. And now if you look, that's where Betsy Blair, just right around that same time, gets in her vehicle, drives away. Right there, see? And at that moment, they're the only people in the entire park. And they're forced to go across the creek right there. All right? So does that make it even more like visually seeing that? Like it's just so obvious. I mean, he is absolutely locked in there. And I could have, even if you went backwards, when the video starts with the girls down, the 3 girls right here. And that's at 12:47, I think. So that means they walked in, too. So they didn't see anybody walking in. And all the way out, they didn't see anybody. They didn't see anybody until they walk right there. They pass Richard Allen, and then he's walking alone. And by the way, at this moment, he's the only person in the entire park. And then Betsy Blair, who gets here right after that. So you can see him still down here. Betsy Blair gets there, gets out, and now there's 2 people. Now there's 4. Okay, but when she turns around, it's just Abby and Libby. They run into him. Okay, so anyways, that's it. Right? If that doesn't make sense, I can't help you, but that's absolutely based on the probable cause right there. All right, I'll do it again, you guys. On this channel, if you guys have the ability to help support the Grant Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, that would be awesome. It relies on you guys almost every show. When I guess apparently people don't know what it means if you say you're demonetized. So whenever I do my shows, the content matter and specific words that you might say from time to time, they demonetize your live streams, which means that there is 0 ad revenue that comes in. And almost every live stream's like that. Then you have to appeal it, and then they go, oh, you're fine, a day later. But who the hell's watching your live stream 2 days later, right? So the shows really just kind of rely on your guys' generosity to make the goals and, you know, bring in the income to the channel on those kind of shows. Now, when I make videos that are, you know, seen by a lot of people, those bring in ad revenue, and I get them approved before I upload them. Although I got one approved yesterday that was before it was uploaded, and then they demonetized it. It was the one on the P. Diddy. I mean, how crazy is that? Hey, thanks, M.M. Morgan. Or M. Morgan. Not M.M. Morgan. That'd be like 3 of them. And thanks, Karen. The recap before the trial is very helpful. Yeah, I'm going to keep... We're going to just have to keep kind of like, you know, going over different things. What's interesting now, though, is... See, if you're new to this case... Yeah, let me put those out there. Or Alley Cake, then M. Morgan, and who's got to go do her masseuse. You're probably right in the middle of it right now. And then Primal Curiosities, and then Sammy Davey became a member, and then Georgina Stoliker, and Michelle H. again. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for everybody for your generosity. I appreciate it. All right, so now I guess I got to open that up again. By the way, let me check on Blue. Yeah, see how he's just kind of lays there? Doesn't really want to move. I don't know. Jeez. I mean, how do you do it, though? I mean, it's just... brutal. That's just a hard decision to make, because you're at some point you're being selfish. I want to keep seeing Blue, so therefore... But you can't ask a dog a question, you know? You can't say, hey, do you want to keep going here or what, you know? Like, I don't really know, man. But I can just tell last couple days he just seems like he just lays still pretty much the whole day. But when you open the door, he goes bolting out. So I don't know. I don't know, we'll see. If he starts getting to the point where he can't even go up to go outside. All right, here we go. I'm going to do... Yeah. Our vet told us they tell your pets when they're ready. Huh? I don't know. Our vet told us they tell you... mean the dog tells you they're ready? He did kind of look at me. I mean, today I had him on my chest and he was laying there and he just kind of looked at me, you know, like, hey, I don't know, man. It makes me sad to even think about it. I was kind of feeling like that when I saw him. Oh, he's just got, apparently now he has kidney failure, heart failure. He's just sort of, I don't know. They said they want to bring him in a week or so and check him out. No, that was hey, get me a second opinion. Oh, is that what that was? Okay, yeah, I hope so. Well, maybe we'll bring him in again and see if anything improves. See what happens. But I definitely don't want him, like, suffering every day. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a look at the... let's see. Yeah, so in this picture right here, I think using this new new feature on YouTube, on Photoshop. If I bring this in here like that, but I think you can just Control F and then type in remove background, and it just does it now. Yeah, so look, it did it. So there you go. Edit, transform, scale, make him bigger like that. See, his calf doesn't look as weird this time as it did that one time. I cut off too much of it. Alright, so you got that, right? Then you take a picture of, let's see, I've got the bridge guy images. So let's go to images, is that the one? No. I could just bring this one in. Nah, let me get one of the originals. I'm just looking for them. There we go. So here's one right there. That's not the one I want though. But look, you can go one frame at a time, like ding, ding. See, these are the individual frames from the original that was released. And the reason it's blurry like that is because it's very small. It was a bigger video that they cropped a tiny portion out because he's 60 feet away. Yeah, it's definitely the same body type. I think the way you can do it though is if you take that one and then you bring it into here, and then I'm going to try to do the same thing. Let's see if it can remove it off of that picture. Let's see, is it going to do good? Not too bad, I guess. I don't know, kind of screwed up on its head though. I guess it doesn't really need to be removed. I'll just make it bigger. So yeah, we're making it match his height and everything. It's really just, we're just doing this to visualize the sort of the overall shape of the body, not height or anything like that. Because we don't know, I'm just making it match his height. So now I'm going to take that layer there, and then I'm going to make it maybe transparent a little bit so you can kind of see it. And then I'm going to, right, so I need to make it a little bit bigger. I mean, it's crazy, you guys. I mean, just the body, shape and everything. Maybe make it about like right there. And then fix it. Make it 100. I gotta cut off this part over here, I guess. Well, let me put them behind the other one, then it'll work. There. Look at that. I mean, it's very consistent, right? The shoulders, how they are. Hell, he even does the hand in the pocket thing that people do. I don't know. What do you got? I mean, you can't go, well, that's not him because, right? So I did make him the same size, right? But this person over here has a longer torso and sort of shorter legs, just like he does. See how it's a longer torso? I mean, of course, he's got the shirt, but you know, his waist is about right there, just like this guy. Now, when he's walking in this one and he's standing in this one, I'm just saying the overall shape is absolutely similar. And when I originally did the size on him, I thought he was like 5'4", 5'6", something like that early on, but then I changed it up a little bit and then got taller, like 5'7" or 8. But you know, my original height estimate was pretty close. He's only like 5'4" or 5'5". So what do you think of that? It's not bad, huh? Let me turn off this. That's probably better now. Now you can see it nice and clear. This one, he's got his shoulders up over here because his hand is not natural. This hand is natural. Now notice that's almost identical because this one here is in his jean pocket. This hand is not in his jean pocket. It's propped up. I actually think he's got something in the black or the dark blue Carhartt jacket that he's propping up and holding on to, likely a gun. And notice how this hand is much higher than that one, right? The pocket's down there. He's up here. So he's holding something. That's why his right shoulder's up. This one's drooped the normal, natural way, just like that. And that came from this original photo right there. Oh yeah, these are some audio of him.
Cable snaps. Cable snaps.
Cable snaps. Ginger snaps. Cable snaps. Guys. So let's hear. That's audio from a video that he's in. And plus he also, if you call his phone, he still answers it. I mean, he doesn't answer it, but he has a voice. If you want me to do it, I can do it again, but I'm not sure who's still paying for it or anything. It's kind of weird, you know? But here, listen.
Please leave your message for
Reck.
You guys hear that? Rick. And then you listen to that, and let's see what it sounds like on the
Guys.
oh yeah.
Guys.
God, when he says guys, that sounds just like he says Rick. Rick.
Guys.
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 Yeah, you hear that? Is that crazy or what? Now listen to that again.
Cable snaps.
See, that's a
Cable
little bit.
snaps.
And see, here's the thing. It's different when people talk, right? If you're just kind of quiet, like, Cable snaps. Or guys. See, there's different sound there. But it seems like when he says, Rick, that does sound like that, doesn't it? When he says, guys. Very similar. And yeah, this isn't forensic like, oh wow, this would pass at trial or something. This is just what we're able to do. Well, the thing is, he says, guys, down the hill, but the down the hill is way after they play it for us. It's not like this is probably how it went. Guys, hey, where are we gonna go? We're gonna go down the hill. Probably something like that. Okay, it doesn't have. It's not like what you're saying. Like when they play it, they're editing out anything that Abby and Libby said. In fact, they brought the family in to try to decipher some of the stuff that they were saying because they know their voices better. And that's all there is that 43 seconds. So the family thought that they only showed them what they wanted them to see. However, it turns out later in the Ron Logan document that it was only 43 seconds long total. Yeah, I know, Stevens. I just said that. Man, having one of those nights again. Let me do the... We got videos in here of him playing pool. So here's something I believe here. I think that this hat here, or one just like it, is actually what we see here. That I used to think, okay, it's a hoodie over something, but I think that this hat right there is this hat, and it just looks like he's got a hoodie behind him, but he said he's got a hoodie, he's wearing a hoodie and some sort of head covering. And guess what? What kind of a hat might somebody say, I'm wearing some sort of head covering? It would be a hat like that. It wouldn't be a baseball hat. You'd say, yeah, I was wearing a baseball hat. That's what everybody calls it. But these hats are called 1,000 different things. So he just said, yeah, some sort of head covering. Yep. All right, you guys, we died down again. Right now we're only at 25%. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. We got to keep on trucking. And see how it sticks out right there? The front, and there's a shadow. And I think that's what's going on here. I mean, it sticks out a little bit, so there's a shadow. And then look at this part. I mean, look how crazy that is. I mean, he's got even in this picture here, he's got this little whiting beard, and look at right there. Okay? So this look here is probably similar to what he looked like at the time, but younger, obviously. You know, that beard type, and you've got that right there. Not sure why I'm struggling trying to find that. I think this might be it. Let me turn down the audio because they're going to ding me. If you can believe that. See, but look at pictures like that. Look at that. Oh, right there. Boom. Okay. And then you zoom in, grab that. And I know it's all blurry and everything. But all I'm trying to do is see if it's consistent with something, you know. And maybe that's too blurry to really tell, but let's see. I think there's a couple better ones in there. Have to rotate it. You know, it's closer, lighter, different shading and stuff. But, you know, you can see that little beard there, and there's a beard there. Thanks, this account. Oh yeah, these are the ones I was using, like that. And see, that hat right there is actually that brown one, I think. Because when he comes around, let's see. Nah, it's a different one. So it's a different day that he's playing pool. Thanks, TJ Stevens. And Sarah Reesness and Karen. Ray, can you pull the evidence list? No. God. Man, are you kidding me? Jesus. They didn't put that in the search warrant. Man, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to show the similarity on here. I mean, I think they did mention a couple things on one of them. I don't remember which one it's in. I mean, I do have the largest document, so maybe we can open that up and skim around in it. But what do you guys think of that? Like, if just that right there, it looks consistent with, right? You know, this is blurry and things look, they're just not, everything's warped a little bit because it's too pixelated. This one over here, this one is still pixelated, but when you look at just the overall shape and everything, it looks reasonable. That's all I'm saying. People try to go, hey, Gray, you can't do it like, well, I know, this isn't something that would work at trial, everybody. Everybody knows that. I think, though, that this hat right here is brown, and it matches the color of this really well. I think it's very possible that he's got something like this on his head. I don't know for certain. You know, maybe he's got it underneath a hoodie, or down here, you see this brown here. People go, that's a fanny pack. Well, I don't think it's a fanny pack at all, because it gets flat on his pants on some of the frames. But I like the way you're covering the Maddie Sotoke. New to at Graves Investigators, but I like the way you're covering the Maddie. Thank you, Michelle H., for the gift of membership. Oh, well, what about this one? I think everybody should be following this one right now. The Madeline Soto case is kind of, you know, we're waiting for some more images and stuff to come out, but this trial is coming up in next week. Or like a week and a half from now, and everybody needs to. This is one that we've been following here and covered for 7 years, and I actually had hotel, everything booked for the first time it was supposed to go to trial, and then when the second one came out just now, you know, when they finally did this one, the timing doesn't work for life. Just life, really. Okay, just things like Blue, my mom, and my dad's actually heading out of town, and we got to be around, and things just aren't really, and it sucks. Something. Everybody's like, Vinny and Barbara both said, "Hey, you going or what? What's going on?" And I can't go. So, but I'm trying to get people to come on and give us the updates. Full updates of each day, hopefully. Anyways, thank you, Kelly G, Karen, and Sarah Reesness. So what do you think? when you look at just the general shape of the face on this one, it looks pretty good. See the beard down there? That's right there. The nose here, obviously that's not, nobody's nose looks like a circle. It's just the way that one image looks. You got that, and then the overall body shape of Bridge Guy. Like that. I mean, those are very consistent with each other. What do you think, Sarah? He said he was wearing a hoodie. Yeah, well, he said he was wearing a hoodie and some sort of head covering. That's what his actual words are. He's wearing a hoodie and some sort of head covering. Here, now let's try to open up the... Well, I can open up the phone lines if you want, too. I was thinking of doing that. Unfortunately, this is Friday, and that's when all the trolls call in, so you can just expect that. If I could find it. All right. Well, there you go. If you have anything you wanted to add, I might have to turn it off at some point if we're trying to get to a certain point and it just keeps ringing. Richard Allen documents. All right, the really big one. Is it this one? Right. Oh, that's the Odin document. Okay, here it is. The combo of all. See? Like, see how he looked then? That's totally different than what he looks like now, right? This guy looks totally capable of moving bodies around, right? I mean, nobody's going, oh, wow, that guy couldn't. And there, look at that. So they took this picture right after he confessed. They told him, you got to act crazy. So then he's like, and then he's just got a drooled on shirt and a jumpsuit. Now, give me a break. All right. So what was it? Oh, okay, hold on. I got to answer this one. This is Gray. Who's this?
It's this account. How are you, Gray?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay. I just talked real quick about.
Okay, real quick. All right.
Yeah, it is real quick.
Yeah.
So they said that Richard Allen frequently walked the trails.
Yeah.
I think that was his defense.
When you say they, it's like, I mean, who knows, right?
I think that came from the defense, like in the very beginning. Like,
yeah.
But
that's what they say.
If he was, if he was frequently walking the trails, whatever level frequently means to them, I want to know, where does he usually park his car, and where does he usually walk when he frequents the trails? Does he usually walk the exact same path? Does he usually walk or park over there by the old building, or does he park over by that other one where like the girls got dropped off?
I mean, I wonder if he. Well, here's what I can guarantee you. He's not going to say, "Hey, when I normally go there, I park at the abandoned CPS building." And then it's like, okay, that is you then. You know, so he's not going to say that. You'd have to
park that day at the CPS.
Well, he's going to say that wasn't him or something. You know, that's all they're going to say is he said he parked at the he didn't say CPS building. He said the Farm Bureau building. And there's a Farm Bureau building.
Yeah, that's
the
what
old
he
Farm
called
Bureau
it.
building, and it's downtown Delphi. I don't know if you can pull that off, because why would you park in downtown Delphi and walk a mile and a half to go walk on a trail?
Yeah.
You know, and then later he said it was next to the old building. He didn't say Farm Bureau building the second time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then that would be out of routine.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you always did that, then you would have kind of a routine that you knew very well. That it's just driving me nuts. Like, I hope that it gets answered as it goes through trial, because I'd just like to know, was this out of the norm for him to park there, and that can go against him.
Well, I wonder if they did,
is.
like, maybe they did some cell phone data records on him to see, you know, where he's, you know, how often did he go there, you know?
Right.
I mean, you know,
That
who
would be
knows?
smart.
Because I don't know if he obviously knew the area, because he knew how to get down the hill, across the creek, through the cemetery, and out. So, I mean, almost everybody thinks he would have had to know the area. I'm not sure if it's 100%. Like, I mean, he went across the bridge quickly, so, you know, he might be comfortable with that, or he's done it before. I mean, we had our buddy Beth in here. She went across the bridge in 3.5 minutes. First time she was ever.
Oh my goodness.
First time she was there, you just walk quickly and you're across. You know.
Oh
so,
my goodness.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long. It's only 900 or 850 feet. Maybe,
Okay.
you know, like, so that's only about 300 yards, right? So, you know, people can run 100 yards in 9 seconds. You know, if you walk 100 yards, you could probably do it in, I mean, a minute wouldn't be hard at all to walk 100 yards in a minute. So, you know, if you're
Right.
just kind of moving along and not stopping, you can do it.
Yeah. I would be on my stomach. I could never do that. I could never walk that thing. I couldn't even probably get that close enough to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I would do out there. I mean, I mean, Abby was very methodical and slowly walking across it. That's what I mean. So Libby was, I don't know how long Libby was on the end of the bridge before Abby got across, but just sort of has a feeling like Libby got across and then was waiting for Abby, as a friend would do, even though she knew that there was this guy coming across the bridge. You could see him, you know.
Yeah. Like, come on, hurry up. We
Right,
gotta
exactly.
get going.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Mhm.
But she stayed with it and waited for her friend, you
Right.
know, of course. And he just caught up to him, whoever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they did say that he would go to the trails. I mean, I'm reading the comments. People are saying that he would go to the trails. You know, how often? Who the hell knows? You know.
I don't know, because it's based on, I remember the defense was the person that said that, like, in the very beginning. And I was like, okay, so he's accustomed to the trails. Like, I'm just wondering, like, okay, whatever their version of frequently is, I don't know. Is that once a month? Is it 5 times a week? I don't know. Who knows? But where does he park? What does he do? Is it the same exact route? Is it different? Is it sporadic? You know, does he always park up over there? Where does he park? What does he do? You know, so...
No, we're not going to... Well, we're never going to get to know the answer to that question. We'll get to know, like... and, well, the thing is the only person that knows that is him. And if he testified, he might say something like, oh, but he would make up a story that fit what they're trying to sell. He's never going to tell you something, oh my God, so you would park there and you'd walk across the bridge every single time? And then sometimes you'd walk across a creek and then through Ron Logan's property and out? Whoa! Yeah, he's never going to say any of that
he's
shit.
not going to say that property, because he's already said he wasn't over there. He never doesn't know them, or didn't know the homeowner, and he was never on that property. That was one thing that was said. Like,
yeah, he did
so
say
that part's X'd out. He's according to him, never been over there.
Right.
But Yeah, so I don't know. It was just something that's been irking me, and I was like, let me call you and irk you with it.
You've irked me, man.
See
You've
what-
irked me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, see what you might think about it.
I think it's a good. I mean, hopefully we get. It'd be cool to get the answers to that, but he's never.
Yeah.
He's never going to tell us, and he's the one that would know.
Do you think it's going to go to trial?
Well, yeah, I think so now. I mean, I guess it's possible he could at the last minute. He's only got 10 days to say,
Yeah.
well, I'm confessing.
I don't
But
wanna
of
risk
course,
it.
every
Yeah.
single one of the Richard Allen lovers out there will say, well, he's only confessing because he knew he wouldn't have a chance. No, he's confessing because he's the killer, just like he confessed all 60 other times, right?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about people that have, like, their other opinions. Like, they just
I
have
do.
their other opinions.
I am.
but
I am. I can't stand it.
I just want the truth of it to come out.
See, my thing is
That's
my thing is I do care what I care about people who have opinions that are based solely on them not wanting to believe something. See, the thing is, these people that are out there, they don't believe something because they have any information at all that says it isn't. They're just part of like a sort of a crazy community of people who just want him to be innocent based on nothing. They believed in all the Odinist crap. They believed in all the Odinist crap. And so they all just want him to be innocent. But the truth is, when you just go over the probable cause document and the information that's available for everybody, he's locked in. It is him. You know?
Yeah, and it's kind of just like anybody but him. And in my mind, I think that there is at least it's anybody but him. And there's really no, I don't really know where that comes from, but it just kind of seems like to me sometimes those are people, some amounts of them, not all of them, but some amounts of them are just people who are like anti court, anti-police,
Exactly, that's who they
you know,
are.
like they want to be the protesting
It's all a
kind of
conspiracy.
people.
Everything's corrupt.
Yeah.
So in the Delphi case, let's see, and Odinist is the one that committed the murders. So they don't want it to go to, and there's a whole bunch of Odinists that work in the Indiana State Police. So they don't want it to be pinned on one of their brethren. So they pin it on a lackey. But they knew 5 years earlier that they were going to need to do that. So they planted a bullet at the crime scene that eventually led to this other guy that just happened to be there that day. I mean, poor Richard Allen. Then he goes to the prison there, and then there's these two guards that work there that had Odinist patches on. Therefore, they're there to protect the Odinist interests and make sure that he confesses to it and etc. because they want to protect all their people. I mean, it's pure insanity, everybody.
Strange.
Well,
Yeah,
it's just like
that
a movie that they invent in their brains, you know.
Yeah, like sometimes it is just a little bit more simple. And I do listen to people with different opinions just to kind of see what maybe the defense might come up with, or if there's any good thoughts in there or something to think about, or like, you know, that sort of thing. But it doesn't bother me really that they have different opinions. It's just, it is what it is.
I guess
you know?
maybe that. I guess that'd be
but-
something that I could, if I could get better at not giving a damn that people believe in ludicrous things, then that would probably help me. But I just, man, I can't do it. What I don't like is when you lay out something like I do in the Koberger case that's totally logical, in order, specifically in order of the facts of the case, and you see it right there, and people go, I just don't buy it, man. And it's like, well, from what?
Yeah.
What did I say there? That it's weird.
There's some people you can never convince.
Yeah, that's true.
They want to be contrary, or, you know, and I think some people probably have reasonable, like, mind thinking, and they just, for some reason, I don't know, but that's probably one of the weirdest unexpected things that I never thought of. I mean, so many unexpected things in this case, you know, and losses of life, several based on you know, this case.
Yeah, like I don't think that they're what's the other ones? I know that well, what do you mean several?
Well, there was the guy that was somehow included there with the photos, and he committed suicide. And then, you know, we don't know that that's it for sure, but the timing is quite.
Well, I think that guy 100%.
And,
well, I think that guy. I don't know. It's kind of strange that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that he's like the only person that can really tell the story of why he had the images of the crime scene.
Yeah. And then the other one is the lady that was like in Georgia, and there was at one point, like, I can remember some things about this case that stick out so odd to me, and then other.
What do you mean, the lady in Georgia? What are you talking about?
Okay, the lady in Georgia. Do you remember that they had? Okay, I'll just do this. The lady there was.
I just need to get. Let's try to get to it really quick, because I wanted to get to this other thing.
She was in the chat with different people. I can't remember her name, and she had some type of, it seemed like there was some mental illness going on there, and for whatever reason, it seems like, because this is all, she hasn't gone to court, I don't think, so allegedly, then she was believing that her husband was the guy on the bridge. All this is alleged, but then she killed her son.
Okay, yeah, I don't listen. I don't know anything about this. We've never talked about it. You probably heard it on one of the crazy channels and stuff.
Oh no, it's on.
So we've never
with
Mike. Oh, okay. Yeah, we haven't done those, so never heard of it.
Yeah, so that lady tried to kill her husband, but he was successful in getting the gun away. So it was with Mike, you like him, and I guess she had sent him messages and stuff, so he was somehow involved in it. He had to wait a long time to be able to talk about it.
But what does that have to do with? It has nothing to do with Delphi, though. It has nothing to do with Delphi. Yeah.
Well, it just was that she thought her husband was the guy on the bridge. That was all I was saying. Like, this was just some other offshoot.
I had 2 or 3 people say that they thought their husband was the guy on the bridge, and 2 of them, out of all those, it was like, wow. Because I saw pictures of them look just like how you would think they would look like. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, but it didn't turn out to be. It wasn't them.
Yeah.
But it's like these wives. Like one of them was a wife, and somebody else was. I can't remember what the other one was, but they were. And I was. I was really looking into it. I was thinking, man. And then there was one of the predators on that Predator Hunter show. I forgot what it's called, but they actually filmed a guy that was trying to pick somebody up in Indiana, and that turns out that guy's son goes to Delphi High School, and he looks like he could have been the guy. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, it was like, but he wasn't the one either. But it just shows you how many predators there are out there.
There are. So if you just have that feeling for whatever reason, then I mean, you got to take it to where it needs to go and have it get looked into. And I think that'd be a hard thing to do, turn your own husband in, but you got to. You know what I mean? Like, if you actually think that's something that you have got to find deep inside yourself the strength to do, because it's so serious. But, yeah. Anyhow, and they did say that in that press conference, they thought he was in Delphi. He lived in Delphi, and they were really on to a lot of stuff, it kind of seemed like, and it just, the ball got dropped there a little bit, and, I'm looking forward to, I guess,
a little bit,
just hopefully the whole truth of the matter comes out, and he is, adjudicated guilty if he is, or not guilty if he's not, but whatever way it goes, that they get it right, and that there's some form of justice in this case. People can move on from it.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks
All
for
right.
calling in this account.
Yeah, you're welcome. And
Good question out there. Hope we get answers.
yeah, that'd be nice. It just drives me nuts sometimes. I'm like, where was he normally parking? What was he normally doing? You know.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to know that, but we'll see if it happens or not. And let you take some other calls. Thanks, Gray. See you in the chat.
Yep. Have a good one. See ya. All right. This account. Yeah, it would be kind of. The problem is it'd be cool to know, but we're not going to get the answer. Like where he normally parked. And what's he going to say? Well, I normally parked at the abandoned CPS building there. Where would you go after that? Well, I'd normally go to the bridge. Well, what would you do there? Well, I would normally look at fish. Where would you stand when you look at fish? Well, I'd stand on platform 1. Wow, that's weird. So when you were standing on platform 1 that day, did you see Betsy Blair when she showed up? No, I did not. I was looking at fish. Oh. Well, if you're looking at fish, how did Betsy Blair get a great shot of your face and be able to have a sketch? See, my thing is I don't think he would have ever faced her. So I don't know how she would know what he looked like. He was on platform 1 looking at fish in the water, right? Yeah, it wasn't really muddy. It was just brown, like normal water. It wouldn't have been tough crossing it because it was shallow. You know, it might have been running a little quicker that day, but pretty easy to get across. And people go, God, how could he control her? How could he control those girls? Well, let me see. He's got a gun, you know. He's got a gun, and people generally do what people ask them to do when they have a gun. All right, guys, we're not even at the halfway point trying to reach our goals. So if you are out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. So that's kind of this is what the bridge looked like back then, for those who haven't seen it. See, that's exactly what it looked like. All right. Oh yeah, this is going to be the. I can actually see it. I think. Let me go back a little bit. You know what's weird is like, see how that's dark like that? That really dark one is just really damaged. I bet you anything, if you go up onto Google Earth, and that's platform 4 there, that if you went up on, yeah, that's 4, so actually we're just need to go back a little bit. That's 3. Hold on. Oh, there it was. Okay, I can see it. Right there. So this spot right here is exactly where Abby was, where Libby was standing when she took the full-length shot of the bridge. Here, I'll show you. See that little vine right there? That's this one right here. And not only that, the rest of it matches, like right there. That's why they stopped right there too. You can see the rest of it matches up, like right over this part up over there. See that? It's right here. And so she was right there, bent down, taking that full shot. That's why the camera stops here, because we figured all that out. Oh yeah, so that's what I was going to try to do. So see how this really dark one there? I bet you anything that if you go up on the Google Earth and you say in between 3 and 4, using the April 2017, you might even be able to see that. So here's 3, and there's 4, and it's going to be, it'll be right in there. How come there's a, man, they actually have a path line on there. How crazy is that? Look at that weird stuff. Man, they have a road. Yeah, so that could be like this really dark one there or that one, but I think it maybe could be that one. That's a satellite image. An attractive nuisance? I don't know. It's now closed down. You can only walk out to basically about right here or something. Yeah, right in this area. It might even be just like right here. I was there last year. And here's the end of the bridge. So, by the way, the bridge guy in the video, when he's being filmed, he's not where he isn't. Originally, we thought he was way back there, but he wasn't. I always thought originally, not always. Originally, we thought for the first month or so that Libby was on that platform when she filmed him, but it turns out she's off the end of the bridge, and he's about right. So let me move it back a little bit. He's just passing the 6th platform up there, so it's kind of like about right in this area right now. That's where he is on the bridge. But in her video, he's kind of small in the background because she's using a cell phone that has the wide-angle lenses. Hey, but Plato, how are we going to get we got to get the monetization factor going on the show. See, these shows are always demonetized, you guys. And you guys are the sole source of the income on these live streams when we're talking about these issues. So I need your guys' support to try to reach the goal. We're not even at the goal yet with 332 people watching. We've been doing the show now for almost 2 hours and really struggling. Not sure why. Still don't understand how we can interviews, transcripts of interviews, etc., but we aren't allowed to transcript of the phone conversation. Well, because that's too much. That's like really specific information. Awesome, Lisa Valenzuela. Where was the stock ticker phone? Huh? Yeah, all I'm saying is if he was on this phone looking at stock ticker, it's going to ping somewhere. That's what I said on the show. All right, let me get back to this. So what was the thing that you guys wanted me to look up on here earlier? Thanks, Rachel B. Yeah, it's fine with me. If everybody sent that amount, we'd do well. But people just, I don't know. Guess the economy is just that bad. Let's see. All I got, womp womp. Thank you. It's fine with me. Yeah, that's 2 more than 90% of the people sent in. So. Yes, but Casey Anthony's conversations were shown on TV and there was a gag order and okay. So what? This isn't that case. This is 2 kids. yeah, I'm not able to go. I've said that many times. Thank you, Mike S. Almost like My Guess or Mike S. And Penny. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I'm just trying to keep the going. See, my goal on this channel, you guys, is to try to make an income for myself, but I also give away a lot, because I have ad revenue, I've got channel memberships, all those things, and I give away thousands of dollars every single month, and people go, well, Gray, you shouldn't do that, man. You don't have to give away. But the thing is, that's kind of what we do here. Like, I want to make a difference in the true crime world, like, literally. When we can all sit here and say stuff like, oh yeah, when I'm doing my show, I put out the right information, so that's what my value is that people are learning the factual elements of the case, and that's all cool and everything like that. But we actually here try to make a literal difference where we've put $92,000 into a scholarship, into a DNA fund, and so far we've put about $12,000 into the scholarship fund. But the DNA fund is insane. It's amazing, right? Like, we've identified through our money, and without us it wasn't going to happen, like 5 or 6 people already that were unidentified bodies. One was a serial killer victim. There might be another one of those coming up here. Don't know. I mean, we don't know what the circumstances are, but they just keep on ticking. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the community post the other day. I'll read it again, though, for those out there who aren't aware, because you never hear it on any of the other channels. They don't really ever, wow, have you guys seen what Gray's doing over there on the, what they're doing? They funded this, they funded that. They just don't care, Doesn't make, it's pretty wild. I got to be honest with you. So I'll show you the last community post regarding that. And it's pretty cool. Oh wait, hold on, that was the other screen. This one right here. Go down one, it says, this guy right here. See that guy? It says, the Medina County Sheriff's Office is pleased to announce a significant breakthrough in a decades-old case. After nearly 45 years of persistent investigative efforts, an unidentified body discovered off Red Wing Road, now Road 371, Castroville, Texas, in 1979, has been positively identified as Gary Allen Robbins. And there's way more to the story, so now they're investigating his death. On November 26, 1979, the remains of an unidentified individual were found approximately 90 feet north of Red Wing Road in the brush. Despite extensive efforts at the time, investigators were unable to determine the identity of the deceased, leading the case to go cold. Recent advances in forensic science, particularly in DNA analysis, have provided the tools necessary to revisit this case with renewed vigor, working closely with Identifiers International, that's with Colleen Fitzpatrick, Intermountain Forensics, and through Grant Hughes Investigates financial support. Medina County Sheriff's Office has successfully identified the remains as those of Gary Allen Robbins, born in Chicago, Illinois, on July 25, 1946. Medina County Sheriff's Office extends its deepest gratitude to the community for its support and to the forensic teams whose dedication and expertise made this identification possible. This breakthrough would not have been possible without the resources provided by Grant Hughes Investigates, whose commitment to justice and community safety has made profound impact. While this discovery brings closure to our aspect of the case, the investigation into the circumstances surrounding Gary Allen Robbins' death continues, and all of you guys are part of Grant Hughes Investigates. That's the thing. So that's, don't you think it's kind of cool? Like, it's worthwhile to take a portion of the income that comes in to a channel and try to literally make a difference. And I think we've gone above and beyond on this channel. We've given $215,000 and out of the income. And if you go back to this one right here, you can see over the years, in 2020, the first year of the pandemic, we did 22,000. Then we did 42,000 in 2021, 62,000 in 2022, and then we did 57,000 last year, and we're at 315 this year, so it's kind of going down a little bit. It's going to be above 42, but might not be 57. I doubt it. We'd have to have some killer, like, amazing, like October, November, and December. But that's why I'm asking for your guys' support on a nightly basis, so there'll be an income for the channel, plus we do that. All right, excellent. So if people wonder why, there's shows where I get frustrated, where it's like, come on, you guys know what we're doing, but I know it just is what it is. I can't make money grow on the trees. However, when I make videos that I get like 15 or 20,000 views on, that's enough to kind of make up almost like it was a whole show that people were donating on. And so when I end a show early, that's because I need to go make a video and the show wasn't bringing in. I gotta keep moving. I know what it takes. And some people get frustrated, but it's just, it is what it is. All right, so anyways, on this document over here, and hopefully you guys feel like that's, I didn't see a lot of booms other than alley cake up there. But people that are watching, I know that there's a lot of you that hate me because you're just dicks. But we do great stuff here. You guys are piles of shit. The ones that come in here, every show that I go on, you trash me into oblivion. It's great. Yeah, well, my face is red because I had to change the color on the screen. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Doesn't matter what show I go on, they always comment. Yeah, my face is all red because I had to tweak the coloring to make the green screen stick out so I could take it out. Well, no, I look the same. My face is red. I don't look different. I look the same. Anyways, it's just I've got red. My face looks red is why I look different. Nah, I don't get too caught up in it. It's like an organized effort, Megan. It's not like it's an organized effort. I know it is. Factually, all right? Hey, look at Blue's moving around over there. Okay. He probably wants a better seat. Yeah, I get pissed off, I don't know. Like, the court TV video that I'm in, you go down there, and then as soon as my name shows up, the trolls show up from out of nowhere. It's just unbelievable. Those foster girl murder her foster mom and the dad. I don't know if I did or not. Well, Blue's like 13 or 14. Chloe's 5 or 6, and Gracie's probably, well, apparently she's like 3.5 months old or something, but I don't know. She looks older than that. Dogs aren't that big at 3. Small dogs aren't that big at 3 months. Yeah, it made room for Blue. So when you guys say I look different, do I look different because my face is red? I mean, that's what I think. And plus, it's green screen, so it might be cutting out. Like, look at my hand right here. There's a line going around it. See that? That's because I couldn't get a perfect green screen. Yeah, I can make it not as, let's see what happens if I go to here and go to filters, and let's see, click on the chroma key thing, and maybe if I do that one probably won't work. Maybe I can make it less bright. Maybe there, and then yeah, not that one. Yeah, I mean, maybe like that coloring is a little bit more normal. Although now I'm invisible. Oh, shit. Not sure how to get back. Like a ghost. Plus I have the lights are on. That's the only way to make it work. I don't know, maybe like that. I don't know, is that better? Like closer to normal-ish? I mean, it's like the lights are on fully in here too. I don't know. I was just trying my old school. Nothing better than somebody making you feel paranoid about what you look like. Let's see if we got the... like on this one right here. See, we got the old school bar scene back. See that? Remember that? Yeah, it's kind of bright. I don't know how to make... If you make it too light, though, the green screen quits working. See, like over here, how it's not really that good over by the sign, the wires up there. Yeah, that one's like really edgy, you know. Yeah, maybe like more like that, and then ooh, ah. So that's the color spill thing. So maybe about right there. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to make it better. Hopefully that's better than it was. Ghost mode. Yeah, we've got the Halloween one. Where is that? Yeah. It's somewhere. Can't seem to post anymore. Oh well. And thanks up there, Karen, for getting those 5 memberships, and welcome to Puddin806, Sandy Pep, Ground and Boogie Forever, Grown and Boogie Forever, CML, and Deborah Lynn 58. Now I look like I'm like a drunk because I'm like my nose is red. I see. Yeah. I was hoping people didn't give a shit, but apparently they do. Yeah. All right. So what do you want me to look up in this huge document right here? See, these are all the different... See when it looks like that? Those are the different narratives out there. Hey, wow, thanks. Marie Pintler. Gifted to Thristle, Keto Karen, The Sleuth Kit, Signals, Creme Brulee, and Christina Reynolds. And thank you, Valencia's mom. All right, so what were the things we were looking up? He mentions some sort of head covering. Let me see if I can find it. Wait, do I have these as words? Yeah, okay. There it is, right there, see? And we'll go find it. Okay. That he also told investigators that he was wearing a blue jeans and a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hood, and that he was wearing a hood or head covering. That further, Richard stated that he... Oh, so this is the one by the prosecution, right? Now comes the state of Indiana. So let's just read this thing here, right? Now comes the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas McClelland, and respectfully objects to the defendant's motion to suppress and would ask the court to deny the same in support of said motion. States the following: that on May 9th, 2023, the defendant filed a motion to suppress evidence seized as a result of a search warrant. This is the, they want to do the Frank's motion. I think this is maybe prior to that. Yeah. Result of a search warrant executed on the home of the defendant on October 13, 2022. The defense alleges that the search warrant was unreasonable under the Indiana Federal Constitution in that it lacked probable cause, that it failed to establish that the items to be seized were in the residence or could be expected to be in the residence, that the affidavit failed to provide particular information, that particular items related to the particular crime would be found in the home, and that the affidavit failed to connect generic items to actual items that were possibly used in the crime. That on September 2022, while reviewing the evidence in the investigation into the murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, investigators discovered an interview that was done with Richard Allen in 2017 by Indiana Conservation Officer Dan the Doofus Doolin. That in 2017 interview, Richard Allen admitted, I don't know. I don't know what happened with Dan Doolin. It's just insane that it didn't make it up to a higher level, okay? So, you might have been having a bad day there, Dan Doolin, but, it's just, it is what it is, man. I don't know what else to tell you. That in 2017 interview, Richard Allen admitted being on the trail the day that Abigail Williams and Liberty German went missing. So he admits to it. That he stated that he was on the trail between 1:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. Sound familiar, everybody? And that while he was on the trail, he was using his phone, he said. That on October 13, 2022, investigators invited Richard Allen and his wife, Kathy Allen, to speak to them and follow up on the interview done in 2017. That both Richard Allen and Kathy Allen came to the interview on their own on October 13, 2022, were not under arrest, and were free to leave the interview at any time. That investigators learned from those interviews that Richard Allen reaffirmed that he was in fact on the trails. And some people act like this is, well, why? If he was guilty, why would he even go in there? Was in fact on the trails the day that Abigail Williams and Liberty German went missing, and further admitted to being on the high bridge itself. That he also told investigators that he was wearing blue jeans. Okay, hold on a second. While I read it, we'll play this. All right. That he's wearing blue jeans and a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hood, and that he was wearing a head covering. All right. Now, here's the thing, everybody. You would say head covering on a hat like that because there's like 19 different, let's see, it's a beanie, it's a skull cap, it's a this, and it's a that, it's a this. So you just say it's some kind of head covering. If it was a baseball cap, you'd say it was a baseball cap. So to me, he's wearing some sort of, and we showed earlier the hat that it could be. And also one of the things that we, place that we've donated to, if you guys didn't know, we've probably given $2,500 or $3,000. I mean, I don't even know. It's in the thousands of dollars to the Libby Nabby ballpark, and we have multiple bricks out there. It's pretty cool. So thanks everybody for making that be something we could do over the years. Now the next one is that further Richard stated that he did own guns and that the guns were in his home. That investigators learned from Kathy that Richard Allen still had guns and knives in the home along with the blue Carhartt jacket. The investigators believe firearms was involved in the abduction and murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German because an unspent .40 caliber round was found between the bodies of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. That investigators believed a knife was used in the murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. That investigators believe, and then it says that the clothes that Richard Allen described wearing the day he was on the trails matched the description of the man seen on the bridge from the video taken by Liberty German's phone. That it was also gathered that Richard Allen still possessed the firearm, knives, and clothing, and said items were in his house. That based on this information, investigators prepared a probable cause affidavit with a search warrant for the home of Richard Allen. That the probable cause affidavit covers all the information that law enforcement had gathered in the investigation up until October 13th. That investigators applied for the search warrant on October 13th, 2022, and the same was granted that day by Carroll County Circuit Court Judge Benjamin Diener, herein attached as State Exhibit 1. You know, I always think back to is when Doug Carter did that 2019 press conference, and he says they released the new image. I think they probably regret releasing the image of that young face that Betsy Blair thinks she saw from 50 feet away, but eventually said that, well, the guy I saw was the guy in Libby's video. Her recollection of what his face looked like was off, though. But in that interview, they show that, or that in that press conference, they show that, and then he says, we want to know who the driver of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building. We want to know who that driver is. And guess what, everybody? A few years later, they find, that's what they wanted to know. See, isn't that amazing? In 2019, even before the Keegan Klein crap, they want to know who the driver of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building was. Thanks, Jim Lawn. Then years later, 3 years after that, they got that answer when they somehow got a tip that led back to Richard Allen, and he admits to parking by the old building when he got there at 1:30 and he left at 3:30. That means his car was parked there at that time. Isn't that amazing? That they actually got the answer to that one single question when they found Richard Allen. It finally answered that huge question. Let's see. That investigators applied for the search warrant on October 13, 2022, and the same was granted that day by Carroll County Circuit Court Judge Benjamin Diener, herein attached as State's Exhibit 1. Investigators went to the residence of the defendant located at 1967 North Whiteman Drive, Delphi, Indiana, knocked on the door and executed the search warrant at 5 o'clock on October 13th, and the search warrant completed at 7:09. The defendant and wife were asked to be out of the residence while the search warrant was executed, but were allowed back in the residence immediately afterwards. Investigators found several items in the residence, including firearms and electronic devices, all which is outlined in the search warrant returned attached herein as State's Exhibit 2. Maybe we should go. That's probably what Karen was looking for. Let's try to, maybe we can look for that. State's Exhibit 2. That for a search warrant to be valid, it must be accompanied by an affidavit that establishes probable cause, which is sufficient basis of fact that exists to permit a reasonable, prudent person. So all they put in that first like search warrant or probable cause affidavit was stuff that is enough. You just have to have 51% for the judge to go, okay, cool. Hey, thank you very much, Glam Dolly. Hey, look at that. Finally, somebody had something positive. Look at this, everybody. You were superb on Court TV tonight, Gray. Yours was by far the smartest analysis of the case. Of course, Richard Allen is bridge guy. It's a no-brainer. This should have been solved within 2 weeks. Well, I totally agree with that. I mean, the second part. I mean, I'm not going to say I agree with that. I was so great. But anyways, thank you. Yeah, and when I listened to it, I wasn't as bad as in my mind, I thought I sounded on the first half of it. Investigators found several items in the residence, including firearms and electronic devices, that for a search warrant to be valid. We just did that. The Indiana Code, Indiana specifies the minimum information necessary. See, isn't that amazing? That Indiana Code, Indiana, specifies the minimum information necessary to establish probable cause, which is as follows. Information particularly describing the house or place to be searched and the things to be searched for. Information alleging substantially the offense in relation thereto, and that affiant believes and has good cause to believe that the things sought are concealed in that place and they are attempting to search. Information setting forth the facts known to be affiant through personal knowledge, or, I hate the word affiant. Man, they just keep going through here. I don't know if I need to go through all those. Let me see if I can find the... Oh, wait. God darn it. I lost it. Okay, it was States Exhibit 2. Right here. So does that show up like that, or do you have to... I'll just type it in. States Exhibit 2. Okay, now I get the quote 2. And it's... Oh, gotta put an I in there. There's 1, 2. Okay, it's looking through again. Oh, and it found... I guess the second one isn't in here. Or one was in there. Let's see. What are we at as a total? Well, I'll get some memberships myself. Anyone want to join me again on a gifting membership run? I'll do some. And here we go. 5 memberships right there. Tonight we've got, let's see, 33. See if we can get that to 40, you guys. That'd be pretty sweet. A few months ago, you did an episode and laid out the timeline of this case and how Rick Allen could have done this. Yeah, it was a few months ago. I posted it again today because, you know what's crazy? That video only had like 12,000 views, which is ludicrous for a video like that. You know? So I don't know if it's the same one that you're referring to. Yeah, it was 4 months ago is when I put that one out. It was called Why Richard Allen's the Bridge Guy, something like that. And today's video is doing terribly too. You know, it's just really frustrating stuff. I don't know how to get it out there. What I wish is when I made a video that all of you guys would go out and share somewhere on a platform that you go to and see if we can get more views. Because I think that's kind of, these channels, they have people that do that for them. Like they have like 20 people go out and go ding, 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 and it's everywhere. And I don't really have that happen. I mean, posting it on your own personal Twitter account isn't really, like, if you only have 9 followers, it doesn't do much. But if you put it out like on, you know, one of the big groups that you might be in or something. Yeah, like this one today. You know, here's the one I made today, right? I mean, look at this. It's ridiculous. It's Delphi. Why BG is Richard Allen. Or I could have said it reverse of that. But look, it only has 1,700 views, and it's just dead. So like, see how right here, this is my normal view inside of that range. It didn't even make it into there. It's completely out of it, just straight down, right below, and it's just it's already at 146 views an hour, which is absolutely horrendous. When I do videos in the Madeline Soto case, I'll get like 6,000 views an hour, and it just slowly, gradually shifts down. You know, yeah, this is just like right out of the gate, just dead, right? And it has all the right keywords, everything's in there. No explaining it, just the way it is. Yeah, well, it might not be busy for me because nobody's getting notified or watching. But hey, guys, join my membership wave, and let's get 7 more memberships, and then it'll be good. So what else in here should we look up? Let me look at the head covering one again, because I'm sure it was in more than one place. Yeah, see these dark documents like here that are the narrative, some of them are really, they got different stuff in them. They were written by somebody else, but they're similar. Hey, there's Jessica Schubach, got one for Naomi Jane. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, here it is right here. He further, okay, this is Richard Allen was interviewed by investigators on October 13th, 2022 at Investigation Center. He was interviewed by Detective Liggett and Carroll County Prosecutor Investigator Stephen Mullen. He agreed to come to the center and speak with investigators. He was advised his rights, and he was further advised that he was not under arrest and was free to leave at any time. Investigator Mullen explained to him how to leave the center if he desired. He stated that he was in fact on the trails on February 13th, 2017. He further stated that he saw 3 girls on the trails east of the Freedom Bridge. Right, it's just right there. And also that he went on to the Monenhigh Bridge. So, you know, just using that alone, you know, he said he went to the trails, and then he was east of the Freedom Bridge, which is over here, and then he ran into the 3 girls, just as we diagrammed, and then he went to the bridge. And also that he went on to the Monenhigh Bridge. Wow. He also, and guess what? See, the thing is, Betsy Blair has said for years, from the very beginning, that she saw a guy standing there and he was on platform 1. She said that. So when they might have asked him, so when you went to the bridge, where were you standing? And he says platform 1, they must have just went, holy shit, this is the guy, man. He also told investigators that, so it says he saw the 3 girls. He says he went out on the Monenhigh Bridge. He also told investigators that he was wearing blue jeans and a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hood on that day. He stated he also wore some type of head covering. He further claimed that he saw no one else but the 3 girls that he observed east of the Freedom Bridge. Further, prior to the interview, he told investigators that he also had guns at his home. Richard Allen's wife, Kathy Allen, spoke to investigators as well. She confirmed that Richard did have guns and knives at the residence. She also stated that Richard Allen has a blue Carhartt jacket. And she does, and you actually see it in some of the images. It looks like it could be that very same one. So I guess if we go to the, let me go back here, type in Richard Allen, go to the one that says Richard Matthew Allen. It's probably not it. Where's that one where he's sitting kind of facing left and he's in a store or something? So this is an interesting picture here. So that's his daughter, right? And you know, she kind of looks like Libby a little bit, and she's wearing one of the Abby and Libby tie-dye shirts in this image. Pretty strange, right? Then also the same daughter, there's a picture of her on the Monon High Bridge. At the very start of the bridge, that's platform 1 off to the right, 2, and then 3. That's the one Abby was on when she took the picture back. But pretty weird, right? So it makes you wonder. I mean, this is actually Richard Allen's daughter right here. And it's kind of strange. There's sort of a similarity there. It makes you wonder if there was any, you know, something maybe going on. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find that out in trial if that is something. Oh yeah, this is one of those. This is not too long ago. Oops. So he's on his phone. He's probably, oh, get out of here. But that's what he looks like now. See how he looks totally different in these than this one? You know, like he looks absolutely, you know, just, he's turned into Golem because of the guilt. Yeah, I mean, that's something that's sort of interesting. You would think, I mean, that's what, I'm not sure if you're talking about that M. Morgan up there, but you made me think of something just by reading a little blurb that you wrote is, how many people over the years did Richard Allen mention that he was out there? Is that, I'm not sure if that's what you were talking about, but did he mention the people that he was there that day? And if he didn't, that's a red flag, right? Because if you're not part of it, you'd be like, man, I was even there right during the time. You'd be talking about it endlessly in that town with those people. Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah, you would be, right? You'd be saying it over and over and over again. Oh, so it'd be interesting to talk to any of his friends and say, did he ever mention he was out there to you? Because he admits that he was out there, and you would think that that would be something he'd be saying over and over and over and over again. Oh, cool. Well, I just saw one little portion and wasn't sure, but it made me think that. Feel horrible for his daughter. Well, his daughter might, I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but perhaps the daughter has something to do with, you know, how it led to an investigation into, you know, looking at a lead again. Because you got to admit, don't you think it's strange that, you know, they're looking over here. Remember, for Keegan Kline, related to Keegan Kline, they looked in the Wabash River here for 3 weeks because he was the one that had the Anthony Schatz profile that was communicating with Libby. And it turns out, based on the date that they got the tip, it was a week before they were done searching the Wabash River. And so they got a tip and they looked into Richard Allen. They make it sound like they stumbled upon it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that they stumbled upon Richard Allen through some sort of, like, just re-looking at the case and they stumbled upon Richard Allen. I think that something tipped them off to him, and then while looking through the case files, they find exactly that person, and then they're shocked to find out, because here's the thing, every single adult male and even younger people that were males were talked to in that town. Every single person was interviewed. And Richard Allen, somehow it's an absolute bungling for sure. I mean, he went forward himself though. So what he probably did was, let's see. What happened? Yeah, so he came forward, and I think it's because he heard, what do you mean his bar buddies? I don't know what that means. Yeah, he didn't mention it to his bar buddy. Yeah, so doesn't that mean something to you guys? That he didn't mention it to a soul that he was out there that day? Yeah. So here's what I think is absolutely how it happened. He's the killer. Then on the way in, though, he just had to do what he was doing. So even though he passed those 3 girls, he just went for it anyways. And then he thought, man, I have that job at CVS Pharmacy. Those girls might have recognized me. I don't know how much they've got. So he gets a hold of them. He calls himself in. I mean, who does that, by the way? Like, people don't normally just do that. Now, I guess you might, like if you... But anyways, he calls them. Then he meets with Dan Doolin. And it might be that this meeting happened after they released the one still frame of Libby's video. And he saw it and went, wow, that's me. Somebody's going to recognize me. Oh, wow, those 3 girls saw me. Holy crap. Then so he does a meeting. And he goes, yeah, I was out there from 1:30 to 3:30. Yeah, I went to the bridge, He even admits he goes to the bridge because, maybe he knows that picture is of him. And then nobody does anything. He goes, yeah, I saw 3 girls there too. And he goes, note to self, who are those 3 girls? No, it's the guy that you were talking to. Not the 3 girls guy. And then Richard Allen, he goes back home, and day after day he's waiting for the knock on the door, knowing that he's going to get busted. And then after a while he became used to living again. But the weight of what he did always weighed on him, and that's why he sort of wasted away into sort of a golem-like version of himself over the years. Just in a 5-year period, he looks totally different. And then one day, that knock came, and he just wasn't sure how to respond. He's trying to sound helpful. Hey, yeah, I didn't do it and everything. So he's saying, yeah, I was there, and because they know, he probably thinks they know he was there. So he's trying to he'll admit to some of the stuff. You know exactly how it went, right? I think he feels guilty about what he done. Yep. No doubt about it. All right, for those latecomers in here, if there's one last chance of a push for some support here with the super chats, that'd be great. Tonight, if not, then not. It just is what it is. What other channel has had such complete info on this case for so long? Yeah. Well, the other ones don't want to have the truth of it because it makes it more entertaining and interesting if you can blame it on something else. If it's Richard Allen, you can't sit there and go after all the Odinist people and all the other ones and pretend that it's really interesting and, wow, they're so much more likely to be the killer than Richard Allen. I mean, Richard Allen is the perfect. I bet if you did a profile on him, he's exactly the type of person. Kind of a loner, adult type, quiet. Yeah, I don't know what he did at the crime scene. Like, you know, he didn't, with Libby, or Abby, I mean, it seemed like he was a little bit more kind, you know, if that's even a word, you know, she can use. He was a little bit more, I don't know. Like, he dressed her and things like that. But, I mean, when you kill somebody, it's hard to say, wow, they were kind to them the way they killed them, you know. Like, the word kind isn't the right word. Okay, it's just, he had some sympathy or something. And that's probably why Doug Carter, knowing that existed, that one of the victims was dressed and not laid out totally naked, that's probably why he brought up the shack, because in that one there was some sort of redemption for a killer, and maybe he thought he could reach them in that way. And you know what? You know, when he does go to prison and he starts reading the Bible, he starts confessing. You know, that's why he says he confessed, because God, you know, he wants to make things right with God. And that's why he said he confessed to his wife and mother. Yeah, well, don't worry about the conspiracy. Why do you even listen to the conspiracies, most dope? I guess that's where I always have a struggle with people. It's like, why do you see, here's what sucks. I put out a video today that goes right back over it again and has 1,700 views. But the conspiracy nutters that you watch, they probably get 10,000 because it's so interesting. And it's absolute garbage, right? Gray, you must really trust the government if you have such hatred for conspiracies, no? Ooh. Jesus. Yeah, I think there's, you know, like in the Trump assassination, with two of them coming, you know, almost in a row attempts, you know, I think there might be something there, you know, like, how did the guy in the second shooting in Florida get the rifle that he had that's kind of like a Iranian, you know, Russian type of weapon they would use, and then he's telling Iran to go do something, and then somehow he has money to fly all the way over there? Sure. Yeah. But hey, most of yeah, you're probably gonna get really frustrated over here. I'm not like you. I think conspiracies are incredibly rare, and every case is just, you look at the facts, here it is. Like Brian Koberger, it isn't some guy named Mike Kolpaka or Brett Kolpaka and these other things going on. It is Brian Koberger is the killer in that case, 100%, no doubt about it. But for views, people pretend otherwise. Ah, jeez. I'm gonna get rid of you, dope. You know why? Because of your last response just means you're one of those passive-aggressive jackasses. See you later. So wait, you believe Oswald was... Oh, God. Get the hell out of here. Right, that's exactly right. Anyways, I'm going to get going, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. So thanks to Ali Cake, Jeannie Gayagoy, Judy Grandstrand gifted 5 memberships, then Richard Watts, then Daphne's been here 19 months, then Karen, Michelle H., Amy Lemoyne, Primal Curiosities, A Blank Slate, Ali Cake, M. Morgan. Then we've got Primal Curiosities again, then Sammy Day, a new member. Then Georgina Stoliker, Michelle H., Lisa Valenzuela, this account, PJ Stevens, Sarah Reesness, Kelly G. I might go on the other channel because there's some press conferences and stuff today if you guys want to do that. I have a political channel. It's on the right side, you guys. So if you're, voting for Kamala, you probably won't like it over there. All right, it's called Red, Gray, Blue, and the number 1. At Red, Gray, Blue, all one word, the number 1. So you'll get really frustrated and not like me if you're a lefty. Okay, you won't like it. Just letting you know. And also Jim Wan, Lisa Valenzuela, 19 months, and Rachel B, Little Puppy Paws, 99, Mike S, Penny, then this account, 41 months, Karen, 5, gifted 5, C Peace, Jim Lawn, Marie Pintler, gifted 5 memberships, then Valencia's mom, and thanks everybody for gifting the memberships, and then I gifted 5, and then Jessica Schubach, a blank slate, gifted 5, and Judy Grandstrand. All right. Well, I hope you guys found the show interesting at least. What do you think, M. Morgan? Do you feel a little bit more like, okay, boom, I think at trial there's going to be so much more evidence. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but see, the new information that came out in some recent documents is that the let's see, what was it? At 2:14 or 2:13 and 51 seconds, the video started, and then it ends at 2:14:34, and then at 2:32 p.m. the phone stopped moving. Not sure why that's up in the air, but the phone stopped moving, and I think that's when they were at the crime scene location and the phone's on the ground or something. So, man, that's really quickly that they were in a compromised position at 2:32. So likely I think they're maybe still alive at 2:32, but the phone's not moving. So they've got the footsteps. They're going to have, tons of stuff, and hopefully they got a bunch of stuff on him. So now, you didn't like it, M. Morgan? Get some beauty sleep. All right. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you supporting the channel. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time. I can't go to the trial signals. Hopefully I can get I've got some people that might come on though. But anyways, thanks everybody. And until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, a fact reactor. I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get ya, Paula, Kelly G, Emily Suzanne, Swoop, Socho, Brenda Starr, Tina and Bubblegum, Sammy Day, Lisa Valenzuela, this account, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector, Code 86, Sandy Pat, and I'm meaner than a spectre. Rattle Boogie from LCML. Deborah Lynn 58. Just remember, Hello Karen. The future. No agenda. I'm no pretender. And I'll leave it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal a true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right thanks, back Mary Lou. All right, everybody. Talk to you. And be safe out there.
Correct.